Today I have the pleasure to talk with Fabian Fussek, CEO and co-founder of Kaiko. Kaiko is a Berlin-based company using AI and structured data to improve maritime operations from the frontline up. Welcome, Fabian.
Thank you so much, Janne, for the invitation. I'm excited to be here today.
I'm really excited about your answers to my questions, starting with the first one, which is, Fabian, what was the one insight that made you co-found Kaiko?
When we started Kaiko Systems back in 2020, the world was still a very different one than today. But already back then, we could see that there were exciting developments ahead of us in the shipping industry, especially when it comes to things like connectivity, AI, and digital solutions in general. So what we brought to the industry and where we saw there was a lack of was tools for the front line. Tools for people that actually keep this industry running, keep the ships afloat, literally, and that really respect their kind of working reality. Also, what we saw is that superintendents, especially technical, but also marine superintendents, were sometimes spending around 70% of their time sifting through spreadsheets and emails and doing busy work instead of actively improving vessel health and solving tough problems, which is what they are actually hired for. So we believe that we could improve this, we could help shipping companies operate with more confidence and less busy work. And today we operate on over 1,000 ships. We already made a bit of an impact in the shipping industry by then, I would say.
Yeah. It sounds like you reduced frustrations, huh? Is that correct?
Yeah, frustrations and sleepless nights even. So sometimes when the ship goes into port, the superintendents really don't know if the condition of the ship is going to allow them to pass port state control successfully, or when the tanker is going to a Sire 2 inspection. Now with the new regime, there was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of doubt and fear even about these new regulatory regimes. And with Kaiko Systems, we empower the frontline people on board of the ship, but also make it easier for the people ashore to, have a good night's sleep even before a big inspection and have confidence in their crew, in their ship, and in their operations.
That sounds like it's really great. So how do you turn this raw frontline input into something AI can actually work with?
Yeah, absolutely. We standardize, we verify, and we enrich every photo, every reading, every note, every inspection before it is displayed to our end users on the shore. So we do real-time validation of the inspections, and our system flags implausible inspections. It enhances dark pictures. It automatically processes things like corrosion and the percentage of corrosion and damages. It compresses the raw data, but we keep the EXIF files, so we know this timestamps and so on. So all of that together, we also let an AI analyze to really validate that everything is reliable. And then on the server where the AI really works with it, we have various pipelines where the data goes through for different purposes and then can already be analyzed automatically, so that superintendents really can focus on what's wrong and what's the problems and where do they need to jump in, and not having to sift through hundreds of pictures every week and every month. I think so far we have analyzed a few million pictures of ships already over the last years. And I don't know how many years of time we have saved the shipping industry by doing that. But thankfully our AIs, they don't sleep and they love working every day. So it makes it much easier.
Does it have a name? Like internally,
yes.
You call it something? Yes, please. You want to share?
Yes. It's actually not internal. It's a public name. So our AI is called Kai, fittingly.
Oh yes. So Kai is doing his job. So Sire 2.0 is forcing the industry to change fast, but that doesn't always mean smooth adaptation. How do you make sure Kaiko gets used as intended, especially by crews who might be overwhelmed at the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. Crews, they are the main target audience for Sire 2.0. With the new improvement or new changes, the intended purpose was to focus more on knowledge and empowering the crews, and also making sure that they actually are able to demonstrate their knowledge and demonstrate their knowledge of the processes of the shipping company So they are now under much more scrutiny. What we did with Kaiko is give them a tool that allows them to prepare in a much more structured and standardized way for these big vetting inspections and for the interviews. And in order to not overwhelm them, because the SIA 2.0 question library is really long, we're talking about thousands of questions, depending on which rank you are and which ship you are. And what we did is we worked through this question library together with our in-house experts, but also with our trusted partners to make it applicable to every single seafarer. So when they open Kaiko, they already have a pre-filtered list of questions and jobs to do in order to prepare for this inspection. And so they actually don't get overwhelmed. They really get only what matters to them. And they also get the context of why it matters and get the references so they can look it up and smarten up. And then after the seafarers work through the question library and their self-assessment, the shore team actually sees the gaps. So they can see where is the ship today, where is my crew today, and where does it have to be in a few weeks' time. So in that time frame, they still have the chance to intervene and go in and educate the seafarers and fix the things that need fixing, and then actually go in the SIRA inspection and go out with no deficiencies or minimal deficiencies at all, and really pass with flying colors.
Wow. I really like it because it sounds just what the industry is needing in today's requirements. But you just raised 6 million euros. Where do you not want to go with that money?
Yeah, where do we not want to go? I mean, there's a clear path where we do want to go, and actually saying no is one of the biggest challenges right now. In the maritime industry, there's so many opportunities that you could pursue. There's so many problems that are worth solving. So for us, it's really important to say no and really stay focused. And I'm talking there about product development and what we want to focus. We currently focus a lot on regulatory issues and regulatory waves that are hitting the shipping industry. So the next big change is going to be RISQ. That's going to include much more ships under the right ship inspection regime. And we're launching a product that helps shipping company actually prepare for that in a similar fashion as we already demonstrated successfully in the tanker industry with SIA 2.0. And we want to further invest into our AI capabilities. Where we don't want to go is we don't want to just spend more money on vanity offices or vanity spend on super custom projects or on hardware. Things like that is definitely off the table for us. We want to invest in customer success and in sustainable growth because our customers rely on our software and our product for years and ideally decades to come. And we want to be and stay their trusted partner across this whole journey. So that is where we focus and where we have to say no.
I think that really fits with German prudence. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting times for digital technology companies, right? So over the last few years, I think a lot of companies that have raised a lot of money and have also spent a lot have not seen the returns that they were expecting. So now things like sustainable growth become much more important. Of course, growth is still the most important thing for a company like ours. However, it has to be balanced with the right amount of investments in the right areas that really make sense and are not there to be super flashy and just attract attention, but really lead with substance and lead with, bringing value to customers. That's in the end, what we care about.
Yeah, and I think that's also for long-term success key. What is the misconception about smart shipping you wish you could erase from every boardroom?
Yeah, so usually we don't deal with absolutes, right? So every technology can have its purpose and can have its place in a well-mixed and well-rounded innovation strategy. One thing that we have seen a lot in 2020, 21, 22, and now has really gone away or shifted a bit is the talking about autonomous deep sea vessels. So we've seen much less development in that area. We see a lot of improvements and augmentation when it comes to navigation, But I think full autonomy should be really focused on having autonomous crews that can make decisions and want to make decisions based on their experience, their knowledge, and their confidence in what they want to achieve with their ship, and less being reliant on some centralized office to take away all the decision making. So autonomous in the sense of ships and crews that can make decisions autonomously. And then the other misconception is, I think, that sensors alone won't save you. What's really important is that you invest in your people and give them the best tools to be successful. And then, that can include automation and sensors and, of course, AI. And it sounds weird for somebody like me who develops digital technology and AI to say this, but the most important asset, especially in a frontline driven industry like maritime, is the people that make these decisions and that are responsible at the end of the day.
Yeah. If you could implant one belief into every ship manager's mind, what would it be?
Yeah, along the lines of what I was talking about already is probably that by treating seafarers as knowledge workers and equipping them like engineers and not just end users of forms, you can actually generate a competitive advantage. And that is something that I think was underestimated, or the long-term effects of eroding quality of seafarers, and all of that in the context of ever-increasing scope of regulations and requirements and difficulties. I think that is now really catching up with a lot of ship managers. And many have wished that they were some of those that invested early in their crews and empower them and give them the best tools. And there are many of them out there. But the gap, the divide between high quality and low quality is actually becoming more and more apparent every day. So SIRE 2.0 only lifted the bar of an already high quality area of the shipping industry, which is the tanker industry, even higher, and focused it more on human knowledge and capabilities. But also industries like the dry bulk sector will now not be able to hide anymore and have to come out in the open and have to increase the quality and the requirements, because that is just what this industry is capable of, and the regulators also know that it is capable of it, so now they also demand it from them. And we see that there's a clear divide between ship managers that are proactive about it and that now acknowledge that there is a need to upskill and improve and empower the best people, and those that try to stay under the radar for a bit longer. But it's becoming more and more apparent.
Yeah, that means you're really challenging the established maritime companies, you could say, aren't you? A bit.
Well, it's not us who's challenging. It's the regulators, it's the quasi-regulators, and in the end, it's the customers, right? So we have historically been working mostly with ship owners and ship managers, technical managers. But more and more, we see also charterers getting more involved in the technical management, in the condition assessment. We are just preparing the launch of a new product that will actually help charterers assess the readiness of a ship to accept certain cargoes even more in depth and proactively. And before, I think there was a strong reliance on simply contract terms, that if somebody was not compliant, there's a term for that you can just invoke. But now we believe that there is even more focus on the operations in the shipping industry, and that all parties are getting involved and demand high quality. So we're on the side of the ship managers to help them, make it easier for them to do a better job, and the requirements are coming from all sides of the industry. We're not challenging them, we're helping them master the challenge.
Yeah. Thanks, Fabian. It's been really insightful, and I look forward to follow what you are continue to do, and also how you are pushing change through your products in their business.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great to talk to you, Janne.
Thank you for tuning in to HANSA Newscast. Make sure to subscribe and join us again for more maritime insights and stories. You can also visit our homepage, HANSA.news, and sign up for our HANSA newsletter. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.